All right, so we're going to be heading across the hall here, guys, right away to do the reactions lab that we obviously did the pre-lab for on Friday. Okay, couple of little things, okay, in regards to how this lab is going to go. Okay, we talked about on Friday that you're going to be using a watch glass, okay, to do these reactions in. The watch glass is about this big, shaped just like a contact lens. Okay, there's a bunch of them up on the front table. All right, as are all of the reactants. Okay, so all of the reactants are up on the front table in beakers, and they are labeled with the formula of that compound. Okay, so for example, sodium hydroxide is labeled as NaOH. Right, so they're all labeled in that fashion. They all have two of these little disposable eyedropper pipette deals, okay, in them. The disposable eyedropper pipette deals are all also labeled in permanent marker on the bulb. Okay, so when you're squeezing them, squeeze away from the lettering, because even though it's permanent, it came off on my fingers this morning. Okay, reason I have done that is so that you make sure that the little disposable eyedropper thingy gets back in the right container each time. All right, if it doesn't, it will contaminate whatever solution you put it in, cause the reaction to happen in that container, and I will be displeased. Okay, so a couple of things here in terms of the observations. First off, if you aren't sure of your observations, you want to double check them. They are in a link, okay, below your in Google Classroom. All right, so when you're doing your lab report, if you want to double check your observations, they are there. Okay, there will also be 2 podcasts. There's only one right now, okay, because this one I'll post on there later on this morning. Okay, those will be the ones you probably want to listen to when you're doing your report, just to make sure you're including everything. Okay, especially this part. Couple of hints for you in terms of the reactions. Pair number 1 had a very strong smell. Okay, that smell is the smell of basically like Windex and industrial cleaners and things like that. Okay, and that gas is ammonia, and it is NH3. All right, one of the products of that reaction is NH3. You have to figure out what the other products are. Okay, it is still essentially a double replacement reaction. Essentially. Okay, yes, there's a gas produced, but there are 2 other products. Okay, and in pair number 2, you also had a gas produced, which is probably not something you predicted. Okay, what gas gets produced when you mix these 2 things together? It'll put fire out. Carbon dioxide. Okay, this is not a combustion reaction, okay, but carbon dioxide is the gas that was produced in that reaction.
So you're just going to answer the first one plus.
Right. Okay, and again, there are 2 other products in that reaction as well. All right, so things to think about there. That should help you to figure out what the other products in there are. Okay, you just got to figure out, okay, where did the CO2 come from? Probably here. Okay, you got to figure out where everything else goes. Okay, the other ones, obviously for pair 4, I already have it written in the box on your template, so you don't have to worry about pair 4 or pair 5. Okay, but you do have to do pair 6 and pair 7. Those I'm not giving any hints for because they work like we thought in class. Cameron. Pair number one and pair number 2 both have 3 products. Okay, 3 products, 3 substances as their products. Right? I'm giving you one of them because it's impossible for you to know what the gas is really. Okay, so now that you know what the gas is, you should be able to figure out what the other 2 things are. Okay, plus something else, right? Okay, so that should help you out a little bit there with that part. Obviously, now you also know that there are probably a few reactions we didn't predict correctly, okay, and that's something to think about, okay, when we're looking at the analysis and things like that. Okay, then like I said, the observations, this exact thing is on my website there, so you can check it out, okay, later on. And yeah, that's it. Okay, now back to the lab report itself. Okay, when we were looking at the pre-lab stuff, we did just kind of briefly talk about the analysis. Okay, but we'll talk about just to remind everybody here. Right, for number 1, remember that you need to use words and formulae to write out the chemical equation. All right, so you write it out, okay, like it shows here with the products, okay, in formula form, but you also, okay, need to write it out in words below. So name all the compounds correctly, okay, in that reaction. Okay, this is the predictions, but I mean it's going to look similar in the analysis. And then the 2 reactions that produce precipitates, look at the products, figure out which one's not soluble, okay, let me know which ones those are. Right, and then in your conclusion, okay, copy and paste your hypothesis. Tell me whether, based on your observations, what you said about reactions and the signs of a chemical reaction is true or not. Okay, and then your sources of error. Okay, remember that you don't have to do the class discussion questions. They're already written for you. When you go into Google Classroom, the template is 4 and 5 are already done. Okay, so you don't have to do them because they're already finished. Okay. Quick note of caution for you. Okay, I have found that because I can look through your revision history when I'm looking at your assignments. Okay, I can go back and look at, you know, because Google saves about every 5 seconds or so. Okay, so as you type stuff, I can go back in your revision history and see what you change. I've unfortunately caught a few people cheating in the last week. Not in this class, okay, but I have caught people cheating by copying and pasting other people's stuff. Okay, if I have even a sniff that that's what's happened, I can find out. Okay, and the proof is like concrete. Okay, so please don't. You don't learn anything by copying and pasting somebody else's lab report, so please don't. Okay, just do your own. I do quite a bit of it for you already. Okay, I give you quite a bit of it. Okay, all I ask is that you do the learning part. Okay, so just please don't, because it's an ugly situation for both of us. I don't like having to say you cheated and give you a 0, and you probably don't like having to hear that and get 1. So yeah, let's do each other a favor on that, okay? All right, so lots of things coming up here. Okay, toxin project coming up, reactions lab coming up. Okay, unit exam coming up. All right, tomorrow we'll be doing an assignment on chemical reactions. You'll have all of class to do that. You'll probably get pretty much done, I would think. So that one shouldn't be too much homework, but it won't be due until after the unit exam. Okay, your parents got an email from me on Friday in regards to all of that. All right, questions? Okay. So if you want, you can grab a Chromebook. You got about 12 minutes or so here, and you can work on the lab report for 10 or 12 minutes. Okay, get some of it done.